So as a church, we try to put a high emphasis on you being involved in community. And we do that through two ways here at Redemption. We do that by small groups and serve teams. So if you're going to become a member, we want you to be in a small group, and we also want you to be involved in a serve team so you can begin to experience the same thing that God has for you from the beginning of creation, this authentic community, because that's what we believe in. Now, if you're taking notes, go ahead and write this down. Here's why it's important for us. Alone, you can go fast, but together we can go far. Alone, you can go fast, but together we can go far. See, a lot of people, they don't think they need community because, well, they're going to be able to go faster they don't need anybody's help because they can do it on their own. Discipleship happens in relationship, and alone you can go fast. But if you've discovered this in COVID-19, I'm pretty sure the rest of us did as well, is that when it first happened, everybody's like, this is amazing. This is going to be so great. Church online, I'm fired up for this. This is going to be cool. All right, 2 weeks to flatten the curve. Let's do this. Church online, that's great. Yeah. Meet me in the comment section. Tag a friend. Share the post. Woo, look at that. And then what happened? You shared the post. You tagged the friends. And then 2 weeks to flatten the curve became 6 months. And what started off as being socially distant actually led many of us to become spiritually disconnected. That we became spiritually disconnected from one another. You can only do so many Zoom calls before you're just sick of it, right? You're like, you can only do so many Zoom prayer meetings, upper Zooms, whatever it is. Like that's a charismatic joke. Acts chapter 2, you can go read it by yourself. Upper Zoom, okay, never mind. That killed at the 9 a.m. Until eventually you're like, I don't want to do this anymore. And then what happened is you stopped going to your upper Zoom meetings. You stopped answering the phone. You stopped replying to people's texts. You stopped watching the online services. You stopped sharing the posts. And then you became alone and depressed and more anxious and more isolated. And what started as social distancing led you to become spiritually disconnected. You know why? Because you tried to go fast, but you went on your own. And you burned out. And you flamed out. And you got tired. You gave in to temptations. And you found yourself in a place where you're weak. See, alone you can go fast. Maybe 2 weeks, maybe 2 months. But together we can go far. When we're together, we can go further. You know, one of the things that research is actually showing is that probably one of the biggest effects of COVID-19 will not be on people's bodies. It will not be on people's minds, but actually it will be on people's souls. See, that's one of the things that happens. See, doctors know what to do with people's bodies. Psychiatrists, counselors know what to do with people's minds, but nobody knows what to do with a person's soul. The church is the only hospital for your soul. The church is the only place that can meet those inner needs of your soul. The reason why drug addiction is going up and relapse are happening is not just because people are drug addicts, it's because their souls are hurting and they're trying to numb some deeper pain that's in there. And we could treat the mind and we could treat the body, but only the deliverance that comes from Jesus can actually heal that soul. The reason why marriages and struggles and things are happening isn't because they have conflict, it's because they have sin and they don't know how to deal with sin. Jesus is the only one who knows how to deal with sin. You got to get in the church if you want to get rid of that sin, if you want to figure that out. And so what happens is drug addiction goes up, depression, anxiety, divorce continues. Children are at home with parents who are at each other's throats, and many times they're the ones who are suffering at the hands of parents who can't control themselves. And we have this epidemic of suicide that is becoming so prevalent in the world today because we have tried to treat the body, we have tried to treat the mind, but we have shut down the church. And people don't know how to deal with the soul. And so you've been going alone, you've been trying it alone, you've been working it alone, and you've been going alone. And this is why you're here today, is because you've discovered that you can only go so far alone, but together we can go far. Research shows that 1 out of 3 Christians have stopped attending church altogether since COVID-19. Whether online or in person, just stop going. The average church attendance now is 1 out of every 5 weeks. That means the most average of you will attend church less than 12 times a year. And then what they also show is that no matter how excited you are when you come to church or even how miraculous your conversion is, if you don't get involved in a serve team or in a small group, you will no longer be in church within 6 months. And you know how long COVID-19's been? 6 months. Do you think that maybe we're starting to see a trend here? Because there's been a lot of people who have tried to do it on their own, try to go it on their own. And they thought that I can make it for a while. I don't need anybody else. I can do this on my own. And what you discovered is that on alone, you went fast for about 2-3 weeks. And then the wheels fell off. But together, we can go far.